Why are you struggling with charging high prices, closing big starting fees, closing big retainers, closing big pricings for your lead generation agency? The reason why I wanted to make a video about this is I have seen a big common thing with people building their lead generation agencies and working in this whole industry. When they are selling at low prices, no starting fee or just like really small retainers and prices, like they're just selling small prices, usually something that you would do in the beginning. I have seen that when they are at the low price point phase of their lead generation agency journey, they are closing at a way higher price and they are just way more confident going into the sales calls compared to 3 months later when they are way more competent and they have case studies and they're like, they just know what they're doing, they're struggling more because the price is higher. What is the case here? If you have never seen my videos, if you don't know who I am, my name is Levi Erla. In a nutshell, I spent my days building lead generation agencies. We have worked with over 180 lead generation agency owners, helping them scale those up. I scaled my own lead generation agency from 0 to 45k a month in 6 months, and I've also been in sales since I was 14 and all this blah 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 cool stuff. The reason why I wanted to say that is that you actually know that okay, I might have some idea on how to sell lead gen agency offers. So you know that I'm not just coming up with these things and just talking out of my ass here. The first thing that we need to understand, the sales process consists of 3 different things. First, prospecting, then there's selling, and then there's closing. Prospecting is when you are just trying to find the prospect. You're trying to find a qualified prospective buyer. So that's basically the phase when you are just looking around, scraping emails, setting up email campaigns, sending emails, doing inbox management, booking them in, handling the objections via email. And in my honest opinion, the discovery call, at least if you split your sales calls into 2 calls, basically how we teach now, how we have seen is the best way to do sales calls for an agency offer is 2 calls. First discovery call, you figure out if they are qualified, and then a demo call where you pitch and close. So in my opinion, the discovery call also goes to the prospecting phase because you're not 100% sure if there are a prospective buyer yet that is qualified. You're just asking and you're just seeing, okay, could I maybe sell to these people? You're not selling to them yet. So this is prospecting. I learned this really good analogy from one of my mentors, Nick Kosman. When you're prospecting, you need to see yourself as a lion. You're just walking there looking around for a gazelle that you can eat. And that's prospecting. Then, when you finally find someone who you can sell to, you are the lion who finds the gazelle, you go into selling. I know that they can buy, I know that they are qualified, I know that this would help them a lot. So now you can leave all the prospecting stuff behind and you go into selling mode. So you start selling, you start pitching, you start doing all of this stuff. And that's basically the situation where you, as the lion, you see the gazelle like 1 kilometer away. I don't know how far they can see, but you see it out there in the distance and you start creeping up to it. So you start sneaking up, like you go a bit lower and you start getting closer to the gazelle. So you start selling, you start pitching, you start going over your pitch. And then the last part, you have already spotted the gazelle. You have already creeped up to it. You're a few meters away from it and they haven't, like the gazelle hasn't noticed you. You're like really close to them. That's when you go into closing. That's when you plant your feet down and you get ready to jump and leap. And boom, that's the moment when you can't let go. You sink your teeth and you just shake your head and you try to break its neck or something. I don't know what the actual, why they're doing it. And that's basically when you're overcoming objections and closing again and closing again and closing again. And the big mistake that I see a lot of people make is they never transition from the selling phase to the closing phase. They sell, they pitch, they present their price and they're like, okay, you want it? The prospect is like, nah, I don't want it. Or, I'll think about it. Can you send a proposal? And they're like, yeah, bet, I'll do that. They think that when they get friction that it's unnormal and the prospect doesn't want it. It's extremely easy to be nice here on this situation. It's really easy for you to be like, oh yeah, I'm just a great guy. Maybe we'll become friends. And like, yeah, just take your time and think about it. I'll send the proposal. Of course, I'll do that. It's really easy. That's human nature. You don't really want to be pushing against the grain. But something that you need to realize is people hate making decisions. Everyone hates making decisions. They are afraid that they will look dumb, they are afraid that they will make the wrong decision, they are afraid that they will get scammed. So you need to help them make the decision for themselves. When you jump in and you sink your teeth, after the first time the gazelle tries to get away, you don't want to let go and be like, oh yeah, I'll send the proposal. You need to overcome the objections. You need courage for that. It takes courage. It takes some balls. You need to dig out the reason why they're saying no, overcome it, and close again. You need to close, ask for it again. Yeah, I'll think, it sounds great, the pricing is good, everything is good, but I think we need to think about it a bit. Like, I think we'll do it in-house. I think we'll try it out to do it in-house, and if it doesn't work, then we will let you know. And of course, in that case, it's super easy to be like, okay, yeah, do it in-house, and let me know if you ever need my help. Super comfortable. But you're not gonna make money if you do that. Instead, what you need to do is you need to take that objection, you need to tackle it. Okay, John, I hear you. Of course, it might make sense in your head that you want to do it in-house. But imagine this. You have had this problem for 2 years, like you told me. You have been struggling with getting outbound to work. And as you know, the reason why you have struggled with it, it's extremely hard to hire the SDRs or hire the team, figure out the tech, figure out the angles, test, stay up to date with it, do the inbox management. Like, it's just gonna take a lot of time and money for you. You have struggled with it for 2 years, you haven't gotten it to work, so it's probably pretty fair to assume that the situation is not gonna change now, right? It's just gonna cost you more money if you keep procrastinating and sitting on it. Like, we both probably know that after this call, you won't go and start hiring more sales reps or hiring more outbound specialists. So it's just gonna cost you more money and more money and more money to keep putting this on later day. So let's just do this. Let's start this Monday. Let's get you onboarded. Let's start running up the outbound. And then later on, if you still feel after 6 months after we have worked together, that, okay, now we wanna take it in-house. First of all, you have way better foundations to do so because you actually know how it should be done. Second of all, you might just realize that, okay, it doesn't make sense because we're already getting really good results from outbound. We're already getting a lot of leads through cold email. So you're just gonna lose more money and more time and more energy by, again, deciding to do it yourself. So John, let's get you onboarded on next Monday. I have my calendar open here. I could have 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. your time zone for the onboarding call. It's gonna take 30 minutes. So which one of those times would work better for you? Boom, yes or yes. And they're like, yeah, like we need to train our salesperson yet. Like, I don't think that they're good enough. So we will just like, it's not gonna be good if we start getting them leads now because they are not trained. Again, you see the gazelle is trying to get away and you have sunken your teeth on its neck. And now you can either let go or you just can keep going because you're hungry. Yeah, John, I hear you 100%. I agree with you. It makes sense. Our sales rep isn't that good right now, so we're worried the leads are gonna go to waste. But we both know, and we can probably both agree, that you don't learn to sell by reading books or watching training videos or doing one-on-one role play. Yeah, it helps, but you don't learn to sell that way. You don't learn how to ride a bike by reading a book on riding a bike. You actually learn it by riding the actual bike. So in order for us to actually make your sales rep good and teach them how to close and how to run these calls, the best thing that we can do for them is actually give him calls. Fill his calendar with cold email, get him calls he can actually sell on. And it's gonna be so much faster as well because they don't have to do the cold calling and everything themselves. They can just focus on learning to sell. In 3 months, your sales rep is gonna be twice or 3 times as good at closing because we have actually started this now and we haven't spent 3 months reading some sales books, you know? And even if you can't overcome the objection that well, that's fine, that's normal, you don't have to be perfect. But in most of these cases, the prospect is just not 100% sure yet. They don't have enough information, they're just a bit uncertain, they just want to learn more, they're just trying to buy time and they're throwing these smoke screens your way. So as you're overcoming these objections, you can also just basically feed them more information. So like I said, John, what we're gonna do is on Monday, we're gonna get you onboarded, we're gonna plan out your angles, we're gonna set up the technology, we're gonna scrape the leads, and in 2 weeks time, we're gonna launch the first campaigns. As we're launching the first campaigns, we're gonna start seeing real-time data from your market, which kind of messaging works and which kind of messaging doesn't work. And we're starting to get these leads. We're just gonna keep optimize the process over and over and over again. And in 2 to 3 months time, we're gonna have a really well-working cold outbound campaign that brings in really high-quality leads straight to your calendar so you can close them. So your sales rep doesn't have to spend so much time on prospecting on LinkedIn and doing the quote-unquote social selling. And they can actually be the cold-blooded closers that you want them to be so you can hit your X, Y, and Z goal that we were talking about later on this call. So John, 10 a.m. Monday, is that good for you? I can send you the calendar invite right now. Boom, just close. Just like you're gonna be like, like I don't wanna, it's uncomfortable, it's hard, like fucking, like it's just so much easier to tell them that, yeah, I'll send you the proposal, but you won't get paid if you do so. You need courage. You need to understand that if you are not able to do this correctly, your business will never succeed. And if you truly want your business to succeed, you just have to fucking swallow your pride, man up, and just tell them, I understand, but actually, boom, do you want to buy it, yes or yes? And now just quickly jumping to the whiteboard, something that I want to illustrate to you. So here we have something that we called buying temperature. Every prospect and every person on this planet has a buying temperature. And basically what the buying temperature means, let's say that the green line here is interest. When the interest crosses over the buying temperature, they are ready to buy. For some people, it's way lower, and for some people, it's way higher. Some people are way more skeptic, and they need a lot of convincing and selling and tackling objections, so they buy, and for some people, it's way lower. For example, for myself, I know that my buying temperature is extremely low. I'm the most easiest close you'll ever get. I buy almost everything when I hop on a sales call. Also, like, I never hop on a sales call if I'm not gonna buy it, but still, like, if someone walks up to me on the street, and they're like, yo, bro, like, you wanna donate 100 euros a month to Africa to help them buy food, I'll buy it immediately. Because my buying temperature is really low. I don't really care, does the money actually go there? I don't really care how much they're getting paid commission. I don't really care if it's actually legit. I don't really care, like, what do they exactly do? Okay, that sounds dope, I'll buy it. As long as the sales guy is, like, pretty okay. But for some people, they want to know exactly what is the percentage of money going to the actual cost, who is actually handling the money, what is the actual thing that you're going to do with it, how safe is the place where I'm going to put my credit card on, how many times I'm going to get billed, how do I cancel this if I want to cancel it, is there a contract, is there terms and conditions, is there someone that can recommend this. For some people, the buying temperature is just higher. It doesn't matter, because let's say that here in the beginning of the call, this is the beginning of the call, the prospect has seen your email, they have seen your VSL, so they are already a bit higher here. They have went through your VSL, they've seen, okay, you have a good offer, you have some case studies, you sound like a nice dude, so okay, they already are a bit interested. This sounds interesting, it sounds dope, maybe it's good. And then you go through your calls, you go through the discovery call, you go through your demo call, and you pitch really well, so they're already pretty interested. As you can see, there's still a gap between the buying temperature and their actual interest. They're not ready to buy it. So what happens is when here you go for the first close, they tell you no. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna be like, oh, they don't want it. Okay, let's just move on to the next one. Let's hope the next one buys it. But here, you're really not selling and you're not closing. You're not doing sales. You're just doing presentation. Big difference between doing presentations and actually fucking selling and closing and being an actual sales guy is that the presentation guy, he shows up and he's like, yeah, this is what we do. Here's our slide deck. Boom, boom, boom. Here's our case studies. Do you want it? Okay, no, I'll move to the next one. The sales guy, he goes there, he pitches, he closes, he overcomes objections, he closes again, he overcomes objections, he tries to find the reason why they are not buying, he feeds them more information, raises their certainty, raises their interest, and boom, identifies buying signals and closes. And that's what an actual sales guy does. There's nothing hard about being a presenter. It's extremely easy. You just go there and you just run through a slide deck and that's it. But if that's what you do, you're never gonna make a lot of money. So, you raise their interest during the call, boom, they tell you no. The reason why they're telling you no is they have a few different objections in their mind, like, I don't want to buy this because I'm not sure if there's a guarantee and maybe it's not the right time and maybe it's too expensive. Those are the three things they have in their head. So they're like, no, I don't want to buy this because the price doesn't make sense. Okay, boom. You overcome that objection. Yeah, John, I completely understand that the price can be a little bit daunting when doing something new like this, but when actually we look at this, boom, you pull up the ROI calculator. If this is your average deal size, if that's your lifetime value, if you're closing at this price and this price, boom, 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 boom. And if you're closing at this closing rate, this is the estimated ROI we are gonna get. And even if something crazy happens and we only get half of those results, this is the ROI you're gonna get. You prove them that, okay, the price is actually extremely low and the ROI is there. Like, okay, that's now cleared out of their mind. So what it does, it raises their interest level. Again, the investments in their offer seems way better because now they don't have to think about the pricing thing. So what you do is like, okay, John, now that we have figured that out, do you now want to buy it? And they're like, no, I don't want to buy it. So you go for the close, they tell you no, because there's still a gap between the buying temperature here. And they still have a few objections in their head. So again, if you don't quit and like, okay, John, so what is the reason here? Like, what are you thinking? Like, the price is good, the project is good, you agree with the action plan, everything sounds good, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, but I just don't think that it's the right time because the summer is coming up and in our industry, everyone is on a vacation in summer. Yeah, 100% understandable, John. I agree with you. Summer, especially here, let's say you're selling in the European market. Summer, especially here in the European market, it's a bit slower in the B2B side. But that's perfect for us because what we can do is we can start the campaigns during the summer and we can start getting the initial data and we can start learning and we can start testing these different angles and different messaging options and different campaigns so we know what works. And then when fall comes and summer ends and your competition is starting to get back to their sales and they're like, okay, now we start selling, we are already ready. We already know who we sell to and how we sell it. We already have the campaigns figured out. So we can just push the pedal to the metal and just go super hard and we can just lap your competition and actually hit the goals that you want to hit during this year. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Boom, their interest level rises. And now we are getting extremely close. Here their buying temperature, and if you close here well, it doesn't matter that they are not immediately there yet, it can still go through. So what we do is X, Y, and Z, you overcome the objection and boom, interest level rises above the buying temperature line here. So now they are interested enough and they are certain enough that they are able to justify logically and emotionally making the purchase in their head. And one other mistake that you can do here is not closing and just keeping talking and talking and talking and talking. And if you don't close here, over time the prospects interest is gonna dip down and you're gonna lose the sale. So immediately when you go over the buying temperature, you need to be closing. And if you're not sure if they're over the buying temperature line yet, they're gonna start giving you buying signals. So okay, it sounds good. So what are the payment methods or how do we pay? They're gonna start initiating making the close themselves. So they're really interested, they just wanna get it done with, they just wanna deal with, boom, so they're gonna start giving you buying signals. So either you need to identify the buying signal or you just need to always be closing. And boom, you go for the close, yes, Levi, I want to buy this offer. It sounds amazing. Monday morning, 10 a.m. for the onboarding call. Sounds perfect. Thank you. Shake hands. Contract signed. Invoice sent. Slack channel opened. Everything's perfect. Boom. We have made a sale. And we didn't make the sale by being a presenter. We actually made the sale by fucking selling and closing. And that's what we want. And that's why there's such a big difference between actual closers and just business owners. Because a lot of time the business owners, someone who runs a lead generation agency, they don't understand that they actually need to close and they actually need to sell. They're more comfortable doing technical things and all of that stuff, like the business side of things. But for you to actually become great and scale to $10, $20, $30,000 a month before you can actually even think about hiring a sales guy, you need to just fucking man up, get some courage, and close. You just need to be closing. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. You have to get used to it. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are looking to build a lead generation agency, scale to 10K a month in the next 3 months, go check out agencyvelocity.io. That's what we do. That's our bread and butter. We have a free training on the website, so go check that. See if you like that stuff, and if you do, book a call and let's see if you can work with us and if we would be a fit. If you're a fit, we guarantee you results or don't pay. I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.